Yo! Okay, so this is going to be a new video on dating. I feel like I've got some stuff to get off of my chest, and yeah, I was thinking out loud earlier, and a lot of the stuff that I was thinking out loud was very logical. It made a lot of sense, and I thought to myself, do you know what? Why not compile it all into one video and yeah, just make a banging video? Because why not? So I thought, yeah, let's do it. So I have completely given up on dating, approaching women, trying to find Mrs.Right, if you will, if that's like a better way to word it, because I figured in the end, I have tried more than anybody in the world, to try to meet somebody. I've been up and down the country. I've been to various different cities multiple times. God knows how many women I have approached in all of these cities, in London. Like, I have honestly tried so much that I couldn't even explain it to you and make you understand, even if I tried. Like, it's, you'd actually have to see, it actually all would have to be put on a hard drive, and you'd have to watch the whole thing, and it probably would be never ending. So I mean, that wouldn't even really solve the issue, to be honest with you. But I can safely say that I have tried more than anybody in the world, and it's clear now that I'm never going to meet a woman that doesn't pretend that she's got a boyfriend when I try to speak to her. I'm not going to find a woman that when I approach her, she's not going to say that she's not interested straight away before even getting to know my personality, or find a woman that's not going to give me her number and you know um doesn't reply when I message her, or reply once and stop, or trolls me, or agrees to meet me, then on the day you know she says that she can't get over her ex and she's in love with her ex, or something similar to what they've been doing for years. I can safely say with confidence now, I don't think I'm ever going to find a woman that doesn't do any of the below. So I've completely lost hope. And it's it's crazy, to be honest with you, because you know I don't know. I think a lot of people knew that I had given up, or I was on the verge of giving up, because like, I'd win a football bet and I would just go to the cinema. I wouldn't even go out drinking, trying with women. I'd maybe do it like 2 weeks after, and it just, yeah, you know when you've lost hope. Obviously people have different sort of tolerance levels, and obviously I'm surprised I didn't give up a long time ago. With the amount of shit that I've had to put up with these women, I found out that I had a lot of patience, and I never ever thought that I had patience. Like, I always saw myself as somebody that never had patience. You're somebody that can't wait, because I always associated patience with laid back people, and not outgoing people, and people like with crazy personalities, like crazy in a good way, obviously. So I had patience that I didn't even realize I had, because to have dealt with all of this shit for as many years as I have, that must have took some patience. And and a lot of the stuff that I had to deal with when I used to go out and deal with these women, and they'd be rude for no reason, like that. How I never ended up in a mental hospital or killing someone, I shall never know. I generally don't know, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna lie, right? I know that I've been OTT, right, with a lot of things before, and a lot of my reactions to things have been irrational. Like, if I've lost a bet, or if I've lost a game, and I realise that the general population is not going to act in that way. But I feel like with this, I feel like it's very justified. I feel like a lot of it is. I feel generally like, at the end of the day, right, how would these people feel if they were in your shoes? It could be a man, it could be a woman, and they've gone up and down the country, and they've tried to find love, or they've tried to get laid, or whatever it is. They have legitimately tried, and they've legitimately put their effort into, and they've done what most people are scared of, and they are in my position. How would they feel? I generally feel like they would have ended up killing themselves, ended up in a mental warden, or they would have gave up a long time ago. Like, I generally don't think there was somebody like me that have that has gone through all of this shit that would still be even here. Like, I think that's like something that I should actually do, like seek out people that have actually really tried as hard as I have and see where they are in life, because it would be quite interesting. I mean, even last month, right, when I went to see Monty and I wanted to see if he was okay, because he had, he was going through a breakup, and I wanted to be a friend. Like, even then I spoke to a couple of women and I got 3 numbers, and the chat was going good, and um, and we was talking back and forth, and then when it come to actually meeting, they used distance as an excuse. One did, and one then all of a sudden said, "Oh, well, I'm not interested in dating right now." Yet she was in a club, gave me a number, messaged me back and forth for 2 weeks, yet she didn't even give me a chance. And it's crazy. I mean, as it stands now, I don't even have any new numbers on my phone. Like, all of the numbers that I had, it's gone now. They either weren't interested, or they replied and stopped replying, or they trolled me. And then as soon as I would write something negative, they'd reply straight away, which is very strange how you get these people that sit there and say, "Oh, all women aren't the same," and reta-teta-teta, yet they do so many similar things to each other. Do you not find that very sus? How, like, you get a lot of women that say, "Oh, I'm in love with my ex, I'm not over my ex," or they'll do things like have the same attitude, like reply to negativity, or use the word mate, or use the same excuses. Like, it's very hard to explain what I mean unless you've dealt with them, but they're all very similar to each other for people that are apparently not all the same. It's very weird how they end up doing so many. They have so many similarities. That's dodgy, because I know that not one man in the world is anything like me in any way, shape, or form. No man is the same as me, and they would never ever do or say the same things that I do. So I mean, but this is not a video about them being the same or not the same or any of this. That's not what it is. So obviously, that's the reason why I didn't go out yesterday, because it's kind of like, okay, well, why would you go out and try again? You know the result. You're going to approach a woman and she's going to say that she's got a boyfriend, or she's not interested, or she's going to give you her number and then just fuck you around. It's been this way for many years, and it gets to the point where it's like you thinking anything but that happening is delusional. Like, it's not even being positive. Like, anything that you say now, like, "Oh, you're going to go out and none of this stuff's going to happen and all of it's going to change and all of the things that's been happening for years is no longer going to happen," that is straight delusional. And there's like because obviously the number one question would obviously be, is why haven't you already found Mrs.Right? You've been up and down the country, you've tried with loads of different women, you've tried to make it work, as much as, which we'll get onto in a minute, people like to say you're this and you're that, you generally have tried. So why have you not already found Mrs.Right? You've tried more than everybody in the world. It's not like you're somebody that's just been off and on dating apps and you've not really tried, and 4 years have gone past. You legitimately have tried with these women, more than anybody in the world. And why haven't you already found her? I think that's a good question. Now, this is the thing that I don't get. Obviously, a lot of people will disagree. Some people will agree. Some people might even feel sorry for me, which I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. That's not what this video is about, but it's a figure of speech. But one thing that they can't take from you, even if they generally wanted to, is you tried. You put the effort in. You went out, you approached so many different women, you went on dating apps, you tried dating apps in different cities. Like, you generally gave it your best. And I feel like anyone in life that has given it, this is getting a bit deep now, anyone in life that has given it their best is a winner in my book, which is where the whole saying goes, God loves a trier. Think of it right now, anyone who's watching this, if you've got an enemy, right, and they try their best to change their situation for the better, you can't knock anyone for doing that. You can't knock a trier that's generally tried to change their situation. This is what a lot of people seem to forget. I feel like over the years, I never ever got any credit for this. It weren't even enough credit. I don't think I genuinely got any credit for the amount I genuinely tried. You know, going up and down the country, approaching women, trying to find somebody. And I know this is going to sound very, very hard for a lot of people, surprisingly, but I didn't go all over the country wasting my time, wasting my money to come back, putting my fingers in my earlobes, flapping my hands around, sticking my tongue out, saying that I told you so, laughing. I was generally trying to find someone. You know, I was genuinely trying to meet somebody. When I was recording these approaches, it weren't to say I told you so. It was generally to spread awareness and what I'm going through and my struggles. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's sort of how it is. It's insane. It really, 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 really is. And you know, at the end of the day, right? It's like, even when I have been on dates, this is another thing. Like, the rare time you do get dates. Now, another thing is, it seems to have gotten worse. So 2 years ago, you could get dates and you could, you know, get kisses, or you could get the odd one night stand, or things was actually, which is why I feel like I had more hope back then. I don't know if it was that, or because I was younger and I was living in the moment. When I got stung by the reality bee and I realized, okay, I'm no longer living in the moment, I'm back to reality, I look back on all of what I've tried, and even though this was only 20% of my struggles at the time, it was still a thing to remember. Hold on, you have tried to meet women, and nothing has worked for you. And you know, it was possible, you know, to get dates, and it, you know, and then it was very good one year, and then the second year it was okay, it's getting a bit harder now, and now the third year it seems to be impossible. I don't know what it is. Maybe people have just gone onto TikTok more, or TikTok's become more famous, but there has definitely been some changes in the past couple of years, because I remember a couple of years ago it was easier and you did get some sort of chances, but now you just can't get anything. You know, you try to get a conversation out of a woman, all you're ever going to get is, I've got a boyfriend, if you're lucky. So I mean, it's changed a lot in many, many years. And I think also another thing that was very depressing about it is the fact that, you know, you're not fat, you know, you're not ugly, you know, a lot of what these trolls try to call you on the internet, you know deep down that you're not. And when you're not, and obviously you've got the history of trying as much as you actually have, it can fuck with someone's brain, you know, especially when like reality kicks in, you know, because there's no reason for it. You should be with someone, you know, you've approached good, you know, you've been confident, you've tried, you've took advice, and you know, at the end of the day, you should be with someone. But a lot of the things that I also found, that I discovered, that even when you go on dates, I remember I had this foot injury. I forced myself to go on a date, and you know, a few other dates I went on, is you can generally do your best. You know, they like the way you look, you can be normal, you can do your best, you can legitimately try all you can on the date, and they'll still find some reason why, you know, they won't meet you again. They'll say they don't feel the vibe. And when it happens, and then I've heard it happen to a lot of people, I put it down to, they must have unrealistic expectations. They must have in their head before going on these dates that they want some sort of Romeo and Juliet type shit. And if it's anything less than, you know, they claim that they don't feel the vibe. They're looking for an unrealistic, like, they're looking for something like Romeo and Juliet. They've got unrealistic expectations. And if you don't live up to them expectations, they'll just say, you know, they don't like you, or they don't feel the vibe, which, to put it bluntly, what else can you do? You turn up to a date, you do your best, you tell them your hobbies. You know, there's been dates I've gone on as well, and I've tried my legitimate best, and they still, it's been so bad, I've actually kissed people before and they've ghosted. Like imagine that. Like, then I think, okay, what is it then? And then I've actually realized I've actually gone on dates with people before, kissed people, like legitimately kissed people, and then they've still ghosted. So I mean, what's that all about? You know what I'm trying to say? So and that's you know what it is. But I feel like a lot of people never gave me credit for all of the years of me trying, and I generally feel like you have every right to be pissed off. You know, you have tried, you've gone through so much shit, you know, with these women. You know, I generally feel like I've gone through hell and back and then gone back to hell to finish it off. Like I'm not even joking. Like it's really 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 bad. Like it's like, what does somebody even do now if they want a relationship or they want to get laid? You know, the dating apps don't work. It's, what you're gonna do, just keep trying for the rest of your life and keep going through this year in, year out, year in, year out. You know, don't you think people have already been through enough with it, you know, to last them a lifetime? So that's one of the reasons why I can safely say I've completely given up trying to find Mrs. Right, because I don't think she exists, at least not in Peter Faik's world. So that's my story, man. Yeah.